there. Hi, everybody. This is Catherine Fry, and I'm the president and CEO of Mediafy Communications Group. And I am here today hosting my weekly podcast, Chat with Cat, where we shine the light on local businesses. And the light that we're shining on, or the business that we're shining a light on today is JDB Construction. I am thrilled today to have Levi with us, Levi Perez. He is the what is your position, Levi? You're the sales director. Is that correct?
I'm one of the sales representatives.
You're the sales representative.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm here with the sales representative for JDB Construction, Levi.
Yes.
And we have had a chance to become acquainted, and I am very impressed. And so today we're going to spend some time discussing both JDB Construction and Levi himself. So, Levi.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, tell me a little bit more about your position with JDB Construction.
Perfect. First things first,
Yes.
It's a great pleasure to be here and to be able to meet everybody here. So my position here at JDB Construction, of course, I am one of the sales representative. At this very moment, there's just two of us, and hopefully we get to grow. But we go out to these homeowners' property. Sometimes they have some type of a leak, and we go out to take care of what they're needing.
So a leak, would that be like a leak in the roof?
That is correct.
Okay. So JDB Construction primarily focuses on
Roofing and gutters.
Roofing and gutters. Okay. Now, tell me about the history of JDB Construction.
So the history of JDB Construction, the owner of the company is Alexander Mendez. And so he's been doing roofing and anything that has to do with remodeling trades for a very long time. So he's very, very, very experienced. And so he decided to do to start his company, and he started off by subcontracting roofing and gutters. And starting to the more he started growing, the more experience he got, he started to realize what type of work he really can do.
Where he excelled.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so he decided to go ahead and start his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, thank God, he is a contractor.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, we're here.
Now, tell me about the name, JDB. Yeah.
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
JDB. When I started working here, I was maybe a good year into the company, and I never had asked Alex, hey, Alex, like I never had the curiosity.
Yeah.
And so one time I was at a homeowner's house, and he was like, hey, Levi, I have a question. I'm like, yes, what's up? He's like, what does JDB stand for? And I'm like, starting to, you know what? That's actually a very good question. I'm going to have to get back to you with that question.
I love that.
And so I went back to the office that day, and I'm like, hey, Alex, I have a question. He's like, what's up? What does JDB stand for? He's like, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Why are you asking this question? And I'm like, oh, it's because I had a homeowner ask me what it means. And I mean, I don't know. I've never asked you before. He's like, okay, JDB stands for, it's in Spanish, Jehová da bendición. Translated to English, Jehovah gives blessings.
I love that. Jehovah gives blessings.
That is correct.
That's beautiful. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So that's a good segue into my next question.
Okay.
How did you meet Alex?
Okay. So apparently, we've been going to the same church for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
And so since, like we talked before, he was actually doing subcontracting.
Mm-hmm.
And so he decided to do his own thing. And so he needed help, you know? And so my father, he is very good he was into the sales, and he's really good at talking to people.
And he also attends the same church as Alex.
That is correct.
All right.
And so he had asked my father, hey, my father's name was Edgar. And so he's like, hey, Edgar, I was wondering if you could come help me out.
Uh-huh.
You know, this is what I'm doing. And you would be a perfect match to what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
My father was like, no, I'm good. But I do know somebody who's very good.
And his name is Levi.
Yeah.
It's my son.
He's like, I do know somebody. He loves talking. He's very good. And he knows a little bit about what has to be with remodeling. And he was like, that's fine. So one day I got out of work and, came home, and there you go. I see Alexander, which is now my boss. And yeah.
So you were already working in this field before you met Alex, is that right? Or did you no? Or did you start working in this field when you met Alex and he
I
trained
started
you?
working in this field with roofing and gutters once I started working with Alex.
Okay.
Before I started working with Alex, I was doing other things like painting, pressure washing, and
Yeah. So tell me about your personal history. I mean, I know you're very young, so it's
yes,
not going to be extraordinarily long. But
yes.
tell me about your your history that led up to where you are now.
So,
Yeah.
I was in school.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were in
15 years
school,
old.
right? Yeah.
So, right after school, I would go out with my uncle. He has a
Mhm.
painting company, and I would
Mhm.
go out, just help him out, learn a little bit. Because I really did like anything that has to do with remodeling. I don't know what about it
Was
really
your
caught
uncle
my
a
attention.
remodeler?
He was a painter.
A painter.
So he does
Okay.
anything from residential, commercial, from sheetrock repairs and so on and
Okay.
so forth. And so I started working with him from the age from 15 to 20 years old. I
Okay.
loved everything about it. And decided to try something different, try a different trade,
Mhm.
and I left my uncle's company at like 20 years old, and then I went from painting to pressure washing. I was there for about a good year and a half,
And
maybe almost 2 years.
and what did you think of pressure washing?
Pressure washing, I loved
You
it.
loved it,
Because
huh?
when I was actually in painting, we would do a little bit of pressure washing because, if you would need to paint the exterior of a
Mhm.
home or a decking, you would need to pressure wash it or soft wash it. Um, and so, I was always looking up videos on Instagram, TikTok, and that really caught my attention. And window cleaning with the squeegee and so on and so forth. And um, God brought me to the opportunity to work for a company. I was there for about a year and a half. I honestly loved everything about it. It was amazing. I mean,
Wow.
pressure washing is actually
It
really
is amazing,
nice.
isn't it?
Yeah. So the trades that I learned to do was, of course, soft wash on the house, concrete wash, pressure washing, window tinting, residential and commercial.
I'm sure that you loved. I know that once you have completed a job and the people come out and they see it, the look on their faces, I'm
Oh
sure,
man,
was highly satisfying.
it made me feel
Yeah.
very not happy.
Jubilant, probably jubilant.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
We've had our office pressure washed. I didn't even know where I was. I'm like, is this my building?
Yeah.
Where am I?
Yes,
It
yes,
did not even
yes.
look like my building.
Exactly.
It was crazy. And yes, I will have it done again. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. So I know what you're talking about.
And the before and after
Oh, yeah.
is starting to
Very
extreme. I mean,
Mhm.
homeowners, when I would talk to them, their house would be a little dirty. They wouldn't feel that happy, that excited. But right after the project gets done, I'm like, I knock on their doors. Hey, just to let you know we're done. They come out and they're just eyes open, mouth open. And they're like, wow. And that really brings joy to my heart. And that's what I love to see.
So then when you moved on from the pressure washing, what did you move on to?
I started learning how to install shower glasses.
Okay, so tell me
Luxury
about
shower
that. Oh,
glasses.
luxury shower
Luxury,
glasses.
yes.
There's a lot of mathematics involved in that.
Oof, a lot. I mean, you
Yes.
have to be really good and you have to be on point because one little centimeter that you miss, starting to screwed.
Oh my goodness, you have to just start
And
all
you
over
have to start
again.
all over again.
Throw all the glass
So
away
you
and
have
start
to
again.
you have to be very careful with your measurements, and it was really nice. I wasn't there for that long. I was probably there for about 3 months.
I'm
And
sure it was
then
a learning experience.
it was a learning experience,
Yes.
very much so.
What did you do there? Were you in sales or?
No, I was actually a laborer.
A laborer,
So I was
okay.
actually
So you were
doing it.
installing.
Since of course the 3 months I was learning, I never really got hands on. I was just, standing back, watching how they do it, learning how they did it, learning the material and how everything was installed, measured. And then that's when this opportunity where I'm at came upon.
And then you met Alex. Okay. And so then about 3 years ago, you started working for JDB. Okay. So when you initially started working for JDB, tell me what it was your initial position in sales. Is that what you've been doing
That is correct.
for
Yes,
3 years?
since I started working here.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. And then, so did you just primarily learn on the job? Did you accompany Alex? Did you tell me about the training that you went through?
Alex really helped me out because I didn't know anything about roofing. I didn't know anything about gutters. I didn't know anything about anything. And so Alex, he would always take me with him on site, and he would always show me the process of how roofing is done from beginning starting to finish. I mean, it's the process on how a roof is done is extraordinary. If somebody really sits down and really watch how these people do it, it's a beautiful process.
Can you tell me about the process?
So the process, of course, is depending what type of material. I'm going to talk about shingle. It's a shingle roof. Of course, we have to remove the shingle, remove the underlayment, and we need to expose the wood. We need to figure out what's going on with the decking because we cannot install a shingle on a decking that's not good. We need a hard surface. And then plus for warranties, and we want to make sure that everything is installed appropriately. Of course, I mean, it's not a cheap project, so we want this project to last for as long as possible.
How long does a roof typically last?
About 25 to 30, 35 years, honestly. Yeah, about 20 to 30 years.
So you have to use really high quality materials for it to
that
last
is correct.
that long.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so you have to make sure that's quality decking. If the decking isn't quality, then you have to replace that.
That is correct.
Okay, so then let's say that you've replaced the decking, then you start putting the shingles on the decking. Is that right?
No, after we remove the decking, we replace it.
You replace it. Okay.
We have to start off with the ice and water shield. It's a sticky underlayment that goes onto. We install them on valleys,
ice and water shield?
That is very correct.
Okay.
We don't have it here currently. I don't have any material with me at the moment, so I would love to show you and to the viewers, but unfortunately, that's something we did not bring.
We can always do that next time.
Yeah, but for the next time, or just when we go out to projects, I mean, not to projects, but to these homeowners, we like to have samples. And so we installed these ice and water shield on valleys, transition, pipe boots, around the chimneys, sidewall flashings, because that's where water likes to penetrate over time. And that's where ice likes to stick up on.
Oh.
Yes, we want to make sure we stick all these, the ice and water shield on where ice and water likes to stay penetrated.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, so after you do that, what's the next step?
Then we install the synthetic underlayment. We don't use tarp, we use synthetic underlayment. It's very breathable and it's very strong.
Okay, all right. And then once you've installed that,
then we go with the drip edge. So actually the drip edge goes underneath the underlayment with the drip edge gets installed on the eaves, and then of course the synthetic underlayment gets installed right on top of the drip edge, and then the drip edge gets installed on top of the rake, which is on the gables of the house. Piece. Okay. And then after we install the drip edge, that's when we go off. That's when we go ahead and start with the shingle starter. And then from the shingle starter to the shingle itself, and then slowly start gradually going up. Of course, with the brand new pipe boots. And as soon as we get to the top where the ridge is at, of course, ridge venting, we always have to, something that's very important is we want to make sure that your roof can last for as long as possible.
Right.
And one component of that is adding ridge venting. We have to cut a 3-inch gap at the top of the ridge so your attic can breathe. Of course, your soffits, sometimes they have ventilation. So the fresh air breathes from the bottom and it needs to exhale from somewhere. And that's the reason why we added the ridge venting. Some older homes have what I call turtle vents, which are these like metal aluminum vents that spin. We had started seeing that really doesn't do much. So we added ridge venting and then of course the ridge cap right on top.
Okay. And then what's the final step?
The final step is after you get done with the ridge capping, just make sure everything is cleaned up on the roof.
Okay.
There's no mess up there. And then of course, when all that shingle is being removed, we do add a tarp. So we do try to make sure we protect your yard as much as possible.
Okay.
It's not a clean process at all. Something that I do tell the homeowners. This is not a clean process. It's very messy. So of course, that's after all that is done, we clean up. We do bring our own dumpster trailer. We pick up all the tarps, all the shingles, all the debris. And then, of course, lastly, to protect from kids getting hurt, dogs getting hurt, or your tires getting popped, we do go around with this magnet nail finder all the way around the property a few times. So we make sure we pick up all the nails or anything that's metal just overall.
So you make sure the property looks like what it did before you arrived.
That is correct.
That's very, very
And then I do
nice.
have everything on social media. So we do like to post everything on there from before to after.
Oh, excellent. So people can go on you have Facebook and Instagram.
So we do have Facebook, Instagram, and we do also have Google. All of our
Okay.
pictures on all of our projects are all there.
They're all there on your
They're all there.
website, on your Google business profile, on
That is
Facebook, on
correct.
Instagram. Okay. Now, in terms of the types of jobs that you do
Yes.
both residential and commercial.
Yes, we do residential and commercial.
Do you have a preference, or you're happy,
Preference.
or you're happy to do both? I mean,
We're happy to do both, but me personally,
Yeah.
I do like to do residential because you can really tell. I mean, it has a pitch. More
Yeah.
on the commercial roofing is more flat. So I mean, unless you really go up on the roof, then you can really tell what was done. But of course, with the residential, you're from
Starting to-
ground up, and you
Yeah.
can just tell the type of material that we use is top notch. And so we use GAF,
Oh,
which is the
okay.
architectural shingle that we use.
I've heard of GAF.
And we are
Yeah.
actually GAF certified as well. So we
Oh.
do guarantee more warranties to the homeowners long term.
So tell me about those warranties. What kind of warranties does GAF offer?
So we actually offer homeowners a 25-year warranty.
Oh,
okay?
a 25
A
year.
25-year warranty. So we
Wow.
do have to make sure everything is installed appropriately. Of course, the drip edge, shingle starter, ridge venting,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Starting to
So we do guarantee them a 25-year warranty. Plus, since we are GAF certified, we do guarantee a homeowner 10 years workmanship and manufacturer warranty on
Wow.
defects.
On defects.
Defects, that is
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And then with us, with JDB Construction, as long as everything is done appropriately, we do also give you a 25-year warranty with JDB Construction.
Wow, a 25 year. That is
correct.
fantastic.
That is very correct.
Okay. So my next question is, what are the different types of roofs that JDB Construction offers?
starting
So we do a little bit of everything. But where we see that we get a lot is shingle and metal. Of course, shingle, we only use architectural shingle. And then when it comes to metal roofing, of course, there are two types. I mean, there's actually multiple types. But for residential, we either stick to tough rib or
starting to
standing seam. Of course, there's different types like slate, cedar, shake. But that's something we...
How you do TPO also?
And we do TPO as well, because sometimes homes have, maybe their back decks or
Mhm.
they have an extra addition, which is a flat roof. And so the type of material that we do like to use is TPO instead of bitumen membrane. We don't really like to use that one.
Now, what is the type of roof that you prefer? Is there a type of roof
On a
that-
flat roof or
on
on
a-
a residential?
on a flat roof?
On a flat roof, TPO,
TPO.
which is the type of material that they...
Okay, and that's
that
primarily
they use.
commercial.
That is
okay, and
correct,
then
yes.
and then on a residential roof, what is the type the type of roof that you prefer?
Oh, that's actually a very good question.
Do you like doing cedar shake? Are those
Never-
fun?
I've never actually done that before.
I
so
love
don't
cedar
wanna-
shake roofs.
Yeah,
They're beautiful.
I've seen them. They're very beautiful.
Oh, they are.
But since I've been working
Yeah.
here, I haven't had the opportunity to really.
Oh, I hope you do, because they are really special.
Yeah, they really
yeah.
are. I've seen a few and they look very beautiful.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, but what are the ones that you're doing primarily right now on residential?
We do both. We do metal and shingle. a
Metal and
lot.
shingle.
Yes, we do
Okay, so
both,
you
yeah.
so you do both. Okay.
Yes.
So
starting to
geographically,
Okay.
where does JDB Construction provide their services?
So we go as far as from McMinnville, Tennessee, to Crossville, Tennessee, to Nashville, Knoxville,
Atlanta,
Atlanta as well.
going to all the Atlanta suburbs,
Everywhere.
Knoxville, okay.
Jasper,
all of-
Tennessee
Oh,
as
Jasper,
well.
okay. Go to LJ.
We go to Allergy as well.
Allergy,
So
okay.
we go pretty far.
You go
Not
pretty
only the
far.
Chattanooga area. We go as far as about 80 miles outside
Okay.
of Chattanooga.
Okay. Now, I can see that you have a lot of experience in this area.
Yes.
What type of advice would you give someone going into this business?
starting to
Someone who's going into roofing and gutters with the knowledge that you have gathered. Someone who's maybe 5 years younger than you.
Don't
starting
give
to
up.
Don't
Keep
give up.
trying.
Keep going.
You
starting
gotta
to
keep going. I mean, there's a lot of competition out here. Not really competition, but there's people who are wanting to do their own thing. And so maybe at first, when you start doing your own thing, you might be a little stressed out. Why I'm not seeing, why am I not seeing what I want to?
Yeah.
But just keep going, keep going, keep going.
Wow.
But you have to
Okay.
really
starting to
something about me. I love helping people.
Yes.
Okay?
Starting to
And so that's something that really pushed me. Is just people
starting
need
to
help. They don't
Mhm.
know. And so just keep going, keep going, keep going,
Keep
keep
going.
going.
So what is your primary motivation when you go out every day and you're calling on customers and you're seeing them in their homes or at their businesses? What keeps you motivated all day long? I know you had said before you like helping people.
Yes, that is correct.
Would you
I
say
do
that?
love helping people. I really do. And the smile that they get after is very warming to my heart. Because, I mean, they have problems. And so they call us out to give them a solution. And so seeing them happy really
starting to
brings
starting
warmth
to
to my heart,
Mhm.
and so that keeps me going. It really does.
So they have a problem and then providing a solution.
That is
And
correct.
helping them.
That is correct.
And sometimes they have a problem with their roof and they don't know how to resolve it.
Exactly.
And you know how to resolve
Exactly.
that.
And so they're very satisfied after whatever trade we do. It can be with the
Mhm.
roofing and gutters. They are very satisfied, very happy, and so they recommend us. And just seeing them happy is what really pushes me to keep going.
Okay, excellent. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Of course, the company, we're
starting
really
to
working together as a family to grow this company as much as possible, because we feel like people need us everywhere. Our job at the end of the day is to help you
starting to
with whatever you're going through. And so we want to be able to expand to different states. And so where do I see myself in 5 years is probably, honestly, is having my own sales group. So probably a sales manager. And so
Because right now you're one of two, right?
yes, I am one of two. That is correct.
And so you see yourself like leading a sales team.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, excellent. And then JDB Construction. Where do you see JDB in 5 years?
In 5 years.
In terms of services offered, in terms of geography, area served.
So 5 years from now, we want to be able to expand our trades, because at this very moment, we're only doing roofing and gutters. So we want to be able to expand more in detail with the interior, siding, foundation, framing, remodeling.
Decks, maybe.
Exactly.
Bathrooms, gutters.
Kitchens, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so in
Yes.
5 years, that's something that you'll get more into.
That
I
is
know you
correct.
guys will do that right now. It's just not something that you really are focusing on.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So then what about 10 years? Where do you see yourself and JDB Construction in 10 years?
10 years from now, I want to be able to see JDB
starting
everywhere.
Everywhere. Like all over the southeastern United States.
That is
perhaps?
correct. Starting to be able for JDB to be
starting to
talk, because I mean we offer a lot to homeowners.
Yes, you do. Yes.
And so my main thing is we just love helping people. And so one of those things that's very important is the roof. The roof keeps your family safe. If you go have a storm or if anything happens, where do you go? You go straight home. And what's very important is your roof. If your roof is not in a good
It's not
condition,
the
storm comes by, of course, depending on what it is, if it's like a tornado or if like a hurricane, I mean, your roof isn't gonna come straight off.
Oh my
But
gosh.
just like a rainstorm or heavy winds, you go straight to your house. And we want to make sure that everything is taken care of, and we want to make sure that you're safe and sound.
Excellent. Okay. Now, in terms of JDB taking care of the public, the role of Alex and the individuals,
Yes.
such as yourself that are working for it, you do some other things. What are some of the other things that you are kind of foraying into, but that you're not focusing on as of yet?
A little bit of everything. I mean, we do from siding to concrete, moving trees, to any type of remodel that you want on your home, to decking, porches, and extra additions to your house. But right now, at this very moment, we're just sticking to roofing and gutters. But yes, we do also do other trades.
You do both. You can do both internal and external.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You could do painting.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. Yes.
All right. I guess you could move into siding
That is
if
correct.
needed. And these are areas that you're growing into.
That is correct.
So right now, geographically, where are most of your jobs right now geographically?
most of our jobs at this very moment, we're actually seeing a lot from them, more on the north. That's exactly where the storms are more getting hit right now.
So like Jasper, you were saying?
Like Jasper, more on McMinnville, more on
Starting
the
to
Dunlap side.
Dunlap area.
And so
Are
we
you doing a
get,
lot in Hickson?
that is correct.
doing there?
Hickson,
Okay.
Saudi
North
Daisy.
Shore, Saudi Daisy.
That is correct. So we
So
go up there a
that-
lot.
The north part of the river, north of the river.
And more around the Knoxville area, Nashville area.
Oh, you're going into Knoxville, Nashville. Are you doing like Sevierville? Have you gone to Pigeon Forge? Have you gone? up
No,
there?
not yet. That's actually what we're trying to expand.
You're trying
but
to
at
get
the
in Pigeon
moment, we're
Forge.
not there.
Okay, so all the Pigeon Forge people out there, call JDB Construction.
There you go.
know?
There you go.
Gatlinburg, that would be great for you to
That'd
get
be
into.
fantastic.
Yeah, to get
Yeah.
into Gatlinburg. Okay, so Levi, my next question is, as a homeowner,
Okay.
how would I know if I need a new roof? What are the signs that I need a new roof?
Shingle damage. Very, very important. Once you start seeing your shingle starting to come right down, or you see some type of, mostly when you start seeing this is when you start seeing shingles all over your yard.
Mhm.
That's when you have to like go ahead and take care of what needs to be taken care of, because you don't ever know what's going up on your roof. Of course, for one, you start having leaks through your house.
Mhm.
So you kind of have to, I mean, the first thought is something is wrong with my roof.
Right.
And, but yes, it's going to be shingle damage.
So what causes the shingles to fall off?
It can be multiple things. For one, that's very, very important, is the age of the roof. Once it starts hitting, maybe if it's a 3-tab shingle, once it starts hitting like the 10, 15 years, I mean, they start to wear out, the shingle granules starts, falling down, and their tar behind the shingle starts to deteriorate. So those shingles, they just start popping right out, and with very hard, with heavy winds,
Mhm.
they start to pull back and they just rip right out of your roof. The reason why it's very important to get your roof inspected is because if you start having nail exposure, that goes straight through your decking. And so if it starts raining, you're gonna have driplets slowly. Even though it might not be a big problem in the moment, long term it's gonna affect you a lot. Decking being rotten, rafters being rotten, insulation being molded. Then you have your sheetrock, and then from a little problem turns into a big old problem.
big
So as soon as you see some type of that's not out of the ordinary, go ahead and take care of it as soon as possible.
Now, in some cases, are you able to repair a roof? rather
Yes,
than
that is correct. Yes.
Okay. So in what cases can you just repair it?
So it just depends on the roof age. There are some roofs where the shingle is discontinued.
So if the shingle is discontinued, you would probably just have to go ahead and replace the entire roof, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if a roof, even if it's 15 years old, you might have to replace it. So
but it can be repaired.
be
It can be repaired. Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
okay, all
Just
right.
replacing a few shingles, and if decking needs to be replaced, we will
Okay.
also replace that as well.
All right. I'm here with Levi Perez from JDB Construction. Now, you can be found online at jdbconstructionllc.com. This is Chat with Kat, and every week I shine a light on a local business, and today I'm shining a light on JDB Construction with Levi Perez. And I want to thank you so much for coming here today and talking with me on Chat with Kat,
Thank
and
you so
hopefully we'll
much.
have you again soon.
Yes, very soon.